that doesn't mean they're not going to sell out arenas around the world, which is exactly how you make money now.
That's right.
But it's just what it is. It is just what it is in the music industry now. Is the generation that is buying music are literally 13-year-olds that are getting iTunes cards from their like great uncle for their birthday.
Exactly.
They're not buying No Sleep. They're buying the Disney Channel stuff.
Exactly. So because that's the thing. I know when Britney Spears and Iggy Azalea had that track. I forgot the
Pretty
song.
Girls.
Yeah, and they thought that was going to do huge. Britney Spears and Iggy Azalea, and it had like a straight dive.
They had 1 week,
yeah. I mean, they had disappointing sales, and I know now, Britney Spears is, allegedly upset with Iggy Azalea because the track didn't do as good.
That bitch don't care. She don't.
Yeah, because because the track didn't do as good as she thought. Because she was like, well, that's the whole reason I brought Iggy Azalea on the track to begin with, and. That type of thing. So, but I do understand you are right, Christian. There are a lot of superstars, mega superstars that come out with these tracks lately and these songs, and they just.
But I do think that's okay. I think it's okay. And as Christian said, and I agree with it, is that the way most artists make money these days is by touring. That's why Madonna makes so much fucking money, because she tours all the time and she's a great performer. But she's not because of her music all the time. But I think that it's important that I think it's fine if they don't always do well with the masses. It doesn't mean it's a bad song or a bad album or that they've lost their star. I think it's still just personal taste. And I think the way people are moving these days. By the way, before we go, speaking about Madonna, what are your feelings about Madonna, each one of you, quickly?
I love Madonna. I grew up listening to her. That's my girl. Saw her in concert on the MDNA tour.
Mm-hmm.
She has me.
Okay, and what about you, Jason?
I like Madonna. I'm not gonna say that I'm a huge fan of hers, but I do like her music. I have a lot of her CDs and stuff, but I don't love her. But I know she has this photo out with her two sons that happen to be African American, massaging her feet, and they make this huge deal about it.
Yes, and I told Wendy Williams to shut the fuck up.
Exactly. I'm like, these are not,
these are her children.
They're her children.
Yes.
I mean, it's like,
that's the thing about. First of all, just for the record, I'm the biggest Madonna fan ever, more than anyone you know. By the way, I'm not even going to tell you how. I just adore this fucking bitch. Okay, even though she's a fucking bitch half the time, but I still love her. Anyway, I want to say that picture though, when it comes to Madonna, a lot of people just don't give her a break, no matter what it is about her voice, about her music, about what she does. She doesn't get a lot of the credit she deserves and the things she's achieved and accomplished in her career because she's Madonna. People were sometimes jealous of her. Sometimes people hate her. Sometimes she's a bitch, like I said, and that's understandable. But my point is that this picture thing's just one more of those digs. Just, oh, how dare she? She's a white woman and she's got these two black kids rubbing her feet. Well, they're her kids.
Right. My mom still asks me to rub her feet.
Exactly. Who does it? I mean, it's so stupid. My mom used to make me walk on her back, and so when I was little.
And this is clearly just an example of the type of social issues that we have going on in our country, that we care so much about her children, adopted children, rubbing our feet, and not about the issues that we have going on in third world countries and or African countries that need children to be adopted to rub people's feet.
Right. Exactly. And the fact, and does she get credit?
People just see this photo and they just, once again, they see something and they see, they try to make it a race issue and they posted this photo and the media, social media just took off with it and ran.
And does she get credit? Does she really get credit for the fact that she adopted two children from Malawi? She adopted the first one and then she was going to build an orphanage there and actually have all these kids there and stuff. And she adopted another one from Malawi so that he would have a connection to his culture, and she was going to build a huge orphanage there, and they wouldn't let her because she's a white woman. Blah blah. What's a long story? But anyway, the point is that she doesn't get credit for the things she does. I mean, she got these great kids, a great home, and an amazing life, and she's just some white woman who's trying to use them. I mean, ridiculous. I think it's horrible. But yeah, Wendy Williams had said something about it on her show or commented on it, and I'm like, bitch, shut the fuck up. I mean, no matter what it is.
But again, this is Wendy Williams. This is Wendell Williams, okay? It's like she's going to go out of her way to kind of.
She doesn't like Madonna though. She doesn't like her.
She does not like Madonna. No. Her job is to stir the pot. Let her do her damn job.
Yeah, whatever, bitch. I don't like her, but whatever. I know you like her, Jason, but I used to like her, but I'm sorry. I'm just over.
But honestly, when it comes to Wendy Williams, I used to like her a lot. Yeah, I mean, like I was one of those people that I want to go to the show.
Wait, before you go any further, just before you go, did you watch it from the beginning, the Wendy Williams show? The first season?
Only because when the Wendy Williams show premiered, it was in a test. It was in certain test markets, and you weren't the city that I lived in at the time. It wasn't being premiered there. So
she looked ratchet. Okay, she looked
I've
bad.
seen videos.
Oh my God.
I remember that infamous Wendy and Omarosa.
Oh yes,
video.
I was on the show. Does anybody care about that?
I was on the show. Yeah, I thought, why? Maybe that's why you look familiar to me. I don't know.
I was on the show. I met Wendy. I had a whole segment and everything.
I think I must have seen you on there because when I saw your picture, I was like,
yes, I'm dead fucking serious. Nobody asked my opinion.
Well, give it then.
Anyways, that's a show. Thank you guys.
No, do tell.
No, okay, so I was there for Fashion Week earlier this year, and I had emailed the producer because I wanted to just go to the show. Emailed the producer, hey, I'm going to be in town. I have this fashion blog. I'm in town for Fashion Week.
I did see you. I knew I saw you.
I was wearing a hot pink blazer.
I totally remember you. Oh, my God.
Thank you. Wow.
Yes. No, because I was like, oh, my God. No, you know what I said, Christian? I said, oh, my God, that guy's so gay.
Yeah, that's me. I'm an international superstar.
Oh, go ahead.
No, yes. So, yeah, I had emailed the producer. They asked me, oh, yeah, come to the show. When I got there, they started hounding me with all these questions, I guess to see how I spoke on camera.
Yeah.
And like how clear I was. So I started talking to them. So I was talking to these producers for like 30 minutes. And they're like, okay, cool. So they sent me out with the rest of the people. So I'm sitting there. And then this guy comes up to me about halfway through. He's like, hey, do you want to do something? And I'm like, because when you're there and you're getting ready to be in the audience, they make you fill out these Ask Wendy forms. And everybody has to do one. You have to ask some sort of question. And then they audition each of you.
Oh, my God.
So I was like, no, I'm not doing Ask Wendy. I don't have anything to ask. I'm just here to see the show. They're like, okay.
Well, I mean, what's the whole point of being interviewed? And what's the whole point for them filling out the Ask Wendy form?
Because they're trying to find people with the juiciest questions.
Oh.
And then they're going to, like, pick you, like, out of nowhere.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So what they do is they end up picking, like, 5 people, and out of those 5, you end up only seeing, like, 2 or 3 of them actually on the show. But during the commercial break,
she answers them, right.
Questions. But so they pick those 5, and then they also call my name. And I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't ask anything. So I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. So I go, they sit me in the audience. And I'll go into detail if y'all want to go into detail another time.
Yeah.
But, so they sent me in the audience. I'm sitting in the show, and then halfway through the show, the guy's like, hey, do you want to do something? I'm like, don't have a question. I'm cool. Like, I'm just here to see the show. He's like, no. He's like, maybe we'll do, like, eye candy with you, which is a segment where they pull somebody out of the audience and they ask them about their outfit. And I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds good. Like, just let me know if you end up having extra time, because the whole deal was, like, if we were going to run into time or not. So then the next commercial break comes. The guy, like, starts, like, freaking. He's like, okay, I think we're going to have time. He's like, but I need you to come over here. So they pull me to the side, like, out of the audience, and he starts running down all the rules and regulations with me. He's like, you can't say this, can't say this, can't do this, can't do this. Because it is live. That's what you have to remember. It is 100% live. And at least in New York anyway, it's an hour late here. But,
yeah.
So
I thought they were on a delay, though.
No. It is in New York. It's 100% live. By the time an hour later, when it comes on here, anything they delay would, like, if there were, like, if I were to go on there and say, like,
fuck or
9/11 was a conspiracy, they would cut that out. But New York would see that.
Yes.
So, because what's crazy is while you're doing the show, at the very top, you can never see it from the camera perspective, but at the top of the ceiling are live, like, actual cameras, or live TVs. So on these TVs, you see the actual commercial breaks. You see the, like, graphics they play right before it starts. You see what it looks like as people are watching.
Right.
So he starts running down the rules and regulations, like, can't say this, can't do this, can't do this, be confident, be loud, don't say too much to Wendy, 30 seconds, like, make it fast. He's like, but I'll let you know. So I'm like, okay. So at this point, I don't even know if I'm doing it. I'm, like, sitting there like, gosh. And Martin Short was the guest that day. So I was like, this is so fucking boring. Like, so, and I was kind of salty because it was Ricky Martin. They were double taping that day, and Ricky Martin was coming in later.
You missed him.
I missed Ricky.
Oh, man.
So, and I got Martin. So, right before, they're like, hey, we have time. We're going to do it. come over here. So I'm like, okay. The only thing that's running through my mind right before those cameras start going, and mind you, they're huge cameras. And the only thing I'm thinking is, like, this is a huge international show. Like, people all over the world watch this show.
Sure.
Like, people in Dubai are going to see this. People in Africa are going to see this. Like, I'm feeling all this heat. I'm not nervous, but I'm just feeling a lot of pressure. And so they take me up to Wendy. I meet Wendy. So nice. I have a couple minutes to talk with her. She asked me where I'm from. She asked me how long I'm in New York. Like, she told me to go to some restaurant after we taped the show. She told me she absolutely loved my outfit, even though she didn't pick me. The producers did. But just was really nice and personable. Gave me a big hug. Told me not to be nervous. And then it's not like what you would imagine where they go like 5, 4, 3, 2, go. It's not like that at all. I didn't even know, had it not been for her, and maybe they'd call it in our earpiece, I don't know, that we were taping, because it just felt like we were there.
Right.
You know, it just once it goes and everyone gets quiet, it just feels like it's just y'all in the room. So we go, I do my little part, and I'm wearing this, it's Valentine's Day, which is one of the best and worst days of my entire life. And so I just start running it down. I'm just being myself. I'm wearing this obnoxious hot pink blazer and these, like, printed pants. And
I totally remember
these leather booties, and I'm not wearing socks because these pants, you just don't wear socks. It's just how it is. But it was the funny thing is it was snowing like bad in New York this day, and I had like a little bit of like snow juice on my boot, and that I had like kind of stained. So if you watch it, like, it's kind of like a little ratchet, but. So I did this segment. I had a great experience. The producers were amazing. Wendy was awesome personally with me.
Sure.
She was great during the commercial break. She wouldn't take pictures with anybody, but
she never will.
Yeah. But she hugged everybody. She said hi. She at least tried to meet everybody that wanted to meet her.
Good.
And that was that.
Well, I don't think that she's a bad person. I just think that she's negative towards certain people, and her platform, her show sometimes it goes a little too far for me in terms of her evilness.
Yeah, like I said, I used to watch her a lot in the beginning. I would always, get on YouTube and watch Hot Topics, because she would normally, her show would normally air while I'm at work, so I would normally just watch the clips on whatever. But just over time, it seems like I just began to lose interest over her, especially when she came out with that whack ass Aaliyah movie.
And I tried to watch that,
and ever since
I did watch
then,
it actually.
What was that?
I said I actually watched that movie.
It was really, really, really bad. And then ever since then, I just kind of began to lose interest. And it's like it was the film was just very poor. I think she did it just to say, I was the first one to air this, and I was the first to do this, and I was like, but you put out a poorly just constructed movie.
Right. I mean, it was more than that, because at the time there were so many controversial issues going on with this movie before she was involved.
Right.
So not only was it a hot topic thing for her to get involved in, she saw the revenue value through advertising that this was going to cause, which ultimately, that as a business person, as a production owner, that's what you're in it to make money. It's
absolutely,
you're making money off of advertising, and that was the highest rated Lifetime movie ever. So she did what she was supposed to do. Now, did she do it with integrity? I don't know, but
yeah, that movie was.
I mean,
bad.
Come on.
I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, it wasn't good, but it wasn't like bad.
But I wasn't alive. I was alive, but I wasn't. And I didn't know. I don't know a whole lot about Aaliyah.
Right.
I don't know if what was in the movie was factual.
Yeah, it was.
But it's like she had people in her movie that, normally when you remake movies and that type of thing, you try to get people who try to look somewhat like.
There was a lot of talk about her not, looking like the real.
Yeah, I mean, there were people in the movie who looked nothing like the.
You're right about that.
Missy Elliott.
Missy Elliott. Yeah, what was that? Oh my God. Yes.
I think the only person that really looked somewhat like Aaliyah is the girl who played Zendaya. Is the girl who
Zendaya? Yeah.
Zendaya, yeah. Everyone else, like Diddy, didn't look anything like her.
No, I mean, that's what's funny, because I was watching it at one point and I was like, "Who is that supposed to be? Who is that?" I was like, I had to wait for them to say their name again or whatever. Like R. Kelly, for example. Yes, yeah. I was like, "Is that supposed to be R. Kelly?"
Exactly. I mean, like, none of these people looked anything like. Like, for example, when I watched when the movie Notorious came out a few years ago with Notorious B.I.G.
Did not
that
see
was put together very well, because a lot of the people who portrayed the rappers looked a lot like them.
Right, but wasn't that a major motion picture?
It was
budget. Hello.
So there's a difference.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
There's a big
But
difference.
yeah, but the whole that movie was just, and then now, I mean, I watch her every now and then, but I don't know. I've just lost interest.
I had her on my TiVo recording every single day for like